All right, how are you guys doing tonight? It is the new month of September, and I just wanted to come on and share a little bit of things, okay? So as you know, this marks a little bit over 1 year that I've been in real estate, and there's two particular things I wanted to talk about that I wish I knew in the beginning before getting started with real estate, okay? All right, so let's jump right into it. Number one, I wish someone would have told me before I started working open houses, the process of it. And you might think, Renisha, what you mean process of open houses? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, it's an open house. Let's back it up and let's talk about it, okay? Number one, I'm not knocking open houses for when you first getting started, okay? You want to get a little bit momentum in your career. However, the fact of the matter is, when you're showing an open house to a buyer, you want to make sure that they're pre-approved. They already have their commitment approval letter. So you're not wasting your time and their time. Okay? So I was looking for my next open house, and then I sat down. I got a little bit of mentorship pour into me, you know, and I realized in one particular lender, me and her, I forgot her name, me and her did lunch one time when I was looking for partner lenders to take care of my customers and clients. And she told me, she said, Renisha, let me tell you something. You're sitting and pissing in the wind if you're showing open houses to buyers that has not been pre-approved, okay? So unless you're just brand new in real estate, just trying to get some momentum or, you know, put out some, I guess, consistent content, then open houses would be for you. Through my experiences with open houses, I've always been, I guess, lucky, because the first couple open houses I hosted, people that stopped by was like, hey, I want it, you know? And then as I kept going, I had to realize couple more open houses, people were stopping, and they would look around, but nobody was really just hitting me back, you know, coming in with my sign-in sheet. I would call and follow up, hey, this is Renisha. I was just calling to see how you guys doing. What did you think about the house and all of this stuff? And either I got that they were not serious or they were not looking, or they were only looking, okay? Number two, as a new realtor, I almost lost my sanity with people calling me, trying to offer me services. And let me tell you something, okay? I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. I've been okie doke. I done got okie doke at about $800, okay? These lead companies, they'll be like, oh, we'll provide you leads, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And for $250 or $350 or $400, and we'll feed you, and we'll only take 30% for the first three customers, and however the hell they package it up, okay? They tell you all these great things, and then they give you these leads. When they set the appointment for you and you call to follow up with them, they're not even buying. They don't want to sell. They're just looking. They're not working with a realtor, or they just the foolishness. And now, I know y'all saw my post where it was when Shabui, I don't know what that pastor name is, but he was the hell no to the no, hell to the no. Renisha not gonna do it, okay? Back to that. Most of those leads, they're not quality leads, long story short. And by the time I did get someone to mentor me and pour into me, it was then that I understood after going through. See, I'm a person, sometimes I can't afford to give up. I can't, okay? We don't give up where I'm from. I'm sorry. I have a legacy to build. But, you know, you just gotta go through the barricades sometimes until you find what you really need. And I've been through different mentors, different programs, and they all want almost an arm up front versus someone who's been in the game for 20 or 30 years, and they just like, hey, this is all you need to get started. Boom, bam, bow. Have at it. They actually know what it's like to get started. They tell you the real, and I call them the real deals, you know? I call them well, exactly what they are. They're teachers, they're guiders, they're here to mentor you and help you. So it's them that I really just working with them and getting poured into by them help me understand that, number one, starting out, you don't need to spend all this money on all this stuff. You don't need to spend all this money. They try to drain you left and right. Another thing to look out for as a new agent is people always constantly trying to sell you something, recruit you, just the whole nine. And ain't nothing wrong with that. This is a world of capitalism now, I feel like, anyway. But those are the three things I wish I knew in the beginning starting in real estate. Number one, open houses need buyers, okay? Yes, it's good to market them and see if they coming through, but even if you have a lot of traffic, I had a couple open houses where I had plenty of traffic, and none of those people were even close to being qualified buyers. I'm not saying they didn't have the purchase power. They could have, but we never got there. So every open house, unless you just take the time while you're working an open house to do other things, and I see that a lot in different kind of trainings where they'll tell you, hey, when you're working your open house, you're sitting there for 2 or 3 hours, work on some things. Take that time to work on what you need to. For me, I went from taking that time to do what I need to do to actually talking to the seller so I can ask questions about the house. It was crazy that I got asked questions like, hey, did they renovate this place? Did this used to be a wall? Was this just the craziness, okay? I love it, but it was some things that I had to learn. So I had to start learning to do a property tour with the seller, get the backstories, ask questions about the majors, the repairs, and all of that. Again, number two, you don't need half of all of these people that's going to try to sell you something, sell you leads. I even went through skip traces. I bought 1,100 leads and almost 2% of the contact information was legit. That's how I felt after I put that amongst my staff team and it came back. They was like, these numbers are not no good, the emails, and we want to check. Make sure you're doing their work. We want to check. You go on your email and have to return. The emails where it returned because the site, the email address is not legit. Oh yeah, I was hot. I was hot, okay? And also I still had to pay my staff for that. Imagine that. And last but not least, real leaders are not gonna, they understand where you coming from when you starting out. They're not gonna want to come out your pocket an arm and a leg. They're not gonna ask you, well, to get started, I'm gonna need about $10,000. Or I can train you for just $18.99 and all of this stuff. They're gonna give you what you need, the tools that you can use right now to take off, okay? Well, that's it for tonight. I done already had my shower. I done got wrapped up. Doing the last little diligence at my desk. Forgive my desk, you guys. I do the best I can. That's actually pretty decent because it's usually piled high with papers. Well, that's it from Renisha the Realtor. I wish you an abundant and an amazing night of sleep and an abundant weekend. Everybody have $1 million weekend, and yeah, love, peace, and chicken grease. Good night.